Hey everyone, I'm Haley Day and I want to come to you. I recorded a podcast that went out this morning and I wanted to come on wherever you're at. I'm going to try to put this on IGTV, YouTube, Facebook, wherever. In our group, our Facebook group, if you're not in there, find us, Business and Marketing for Chiropractors. There's links throughout to find us. You can also listen to the podcast on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes, and you should definitely go listen to it first. Why listen to me, right? So I wanted to come on today. The podcast was all about being consistent and how you need to be consistent in practice and in life, with your relationships, everything that you do to make a difference and to build up your space in your community. So, there are lots of reasons why you need to be consistent. It allows you to measure what you're doing. It allows you to be relevant. It allows you to build a brand. So all of these things that are super important to us, and also accountability. If you have a schedule for you, your staff, then you're accountable to that process, right? So in our practice, we have lots of systems and routines and everything that we do on a daily basis, weekly basis, yearly basis, quarterly basis, all those things to make sure that we're staying on target and we keep the momentum that we have. So today I'm coming on to tell you about three things that might be keeping you from being consistent. And if you have a hard time being consistent, you can set alarms on your phone to do things. I have things in Google Calendar that remind me of quarterly, monthly things that I need to do. Or I created 4 different wallpapers that you can put on your phone, and you can find those at our website, lifestylepracticebuilders.com/blog 143. So that's for episode 143 of the podcast. Those are there. They're also on Facebook. Or they're not. I need to do that. Anyway, be consistent, right? So 3 reasons that you may not be being consistent in your practice or with your routines in life. And one is shiny object syndrome. So if you're not familiar with shiny object syndrome, it's like a squirrel sees a shiny object, they're running this way, see a shiny object over here, and they turn and go this way. So maybe you are looking for answers all over the place, and you for a time you think this is the answer, and then you think this is the answer, and then this is the answer. So you really need to stick with something for a while before you know if it's going to work or not. And sometimes it works in ways you never even intended. Okay, so I told a story on the podcast that Rich and I started with newspaper ads when we first started our practice. It seems like such an ancient marketing technique, but we thought, we're in a smaller town, everyone reads the paper, maybe this will work. Well, the ads didn't bring us in a single person, but the newspaper wrote an article about us because we had been doing the ads, and then they published press releases through the years because we had that relationship with them. So both of those things really worked out for us, the ads. So if newspaper ads are working for you, then awesome sauce. So the second reason that you might be, so if you have shiny object syndrome, stick with what you're doing, see it through, ask, a mentor or someone if you think it's not working before you switch gears. Okay. Because I don't think, switching gears is definitely a necessity at times. And so I don't think that it's not the answer, but make sure that you're not jumping from one thing to thing, hoping that something sticks. Because really sticking with something, like when we were in practice, we were very big in our chamber, and that was one place that we really held a steady relationship, and we were always at events, and so that really worked for us. But year 1 and year 2, we didn't see a lot of patients from the chamber, but after that, it was a lot of the patients were coming from the chamber. So stick with it. Number 2 is maybe you're bored. Okay, maybe you have a hard time being consistent because maybe you're not consistent with social media posting because you don't like social media. and I totally get that. I have a love-hate relationship with it, so I don't mind being on there, but I've taken breaks away from it and enjoyed my time. So then hand it off to somebody. If you have a CA, you have a wife or a husband or a kid that can help you with that, then I think, just offload that piece of the pie to someone else. If you're bored, you need to assess for yourself too. Is it, what's boring for you? Why? Find something that excites you. What about it could excite you? Like I think social media for Rich is not really interesting, but he loves music. So if we did musical posts, he'd be all about it and be producing a piece a week and that kind of thing. So, find something that you can do that you're passionate about. If you're passionate about music, post yourself playing guitar on your social media. I have low battery, so hopefully I'll finish this. So number 2 is boredom. Number 1 was shiny object syndrome. And number 3 is overwhelm. Where do you start? Maybe you are in practice, and I've had a bunch of people that I've talked to that their first practice was boom, 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 and they were busier than they ever thought they were going to be. And then they have 0 systems in place. Their billing is like way behind. They're not sure how to post EOBs. There's all these things start coming up that wasn't a problem day 1, but when you get to day 90 or day the second year, and you have all these patients and you haven't put any of these systems in place, it can really start to get overwhelming. And so then what you need to do is you definitely need to take a day, put it on your calendar, make some time to schedule these things out, to create the systems. And once it takes time to set up a system, but once the system's in place, it's going to save you so much stress, so much time, and so much heartache. So 3 things that might be holding you back from being consistent are shiny object syndrome, boredom, and overwhelm. So if any of those 3 are your issue, do what you need to move through past that, and you'll see a big growth in your practice. I know anytime we felt like we weren't getting through things, we plateaued in practice. And so really figuring out the systems, the energy, where you can get that from, and what excites you and your why for being in practice, then you will grow again. So take care. Thank you for being with me today.